Welcome back to normal baseball. We are through yet another weekend of games, and the Tampa Bay Rays have finally lost a game. Let's talk about it. What's going on? Welcome back to Normal Baseball. I'm Alex Normal Dog. That's Lewis. And we are back after yet another weekend of baseball. Another series. Many series, that is. 15 of them to be exact. A lot of stuff has been happening this weekend, and we're here to talk about it. This weekend's baseball, I feel like there was a lot of storylines, but none of them were like too crazy. I'm excited for this upcoming week. I feel like a lot of this weekend just made me more excited for this week, just as the season kind of continues to progress. And, we see what teams are going to be decent or surprising so far. So, yeah, here we go. Lewis, baseball.
Baseball. Feels great. I think this weekend perfectly encompassed how the rest of the season is going to go for not just one team, but almost for every team. Everyone's going to be playing a lot. You're going to get these weird matchups, especially with every team playing every team, and I'm excited to break it down all season long, but let's start with this weekend.
Yeah, so just getting right into it, the Rays have finally lost. The Rays were 13-0 heading into their series in Toronto against the Blue Jays. And they lost 2 of 3 games to the Blue Jays. Obviously, like I said, they were 13-0 heading into the series, and they were looking to become the first ever team in baseball history to start a season 14-0. They were unable to do it after the Blue Jays took Game 1, the first L of the season to the Rays. They lost to Jose Barrios, which is a bit crazy.
I feel like that's harder to do than win.
Yeah. Yeah. They lost to Jose Barrios, who now has a 7.98 ERA on the season, and he shut down the hottest team in baseball. Shut down 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run. But then you lose your win streak, 13-1 after that game, and you're like, all right, we'll get them tomorrow. They will not. They also lost Game 2. They lost 5-2. And something I noticed in this game is Yusei Kikuchi started for the Blue Jays, and he is doing something mechanically that is honestly kind of genius. And I noticed, and I loved it, because I saw a post about it, but it's absolutely genius. When he throws the ball during his windup, he doesn't show the ball to the batter. He keeps it behind his body the entire time. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. He brings it from behind his body at the very last second. It's absolutely brilliant. And in this game, he went 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, only 1 earned run. He struck out 9 as well. So that was just something I noticed mechanically with Yusei Kikuchi that I really, really liked. But yeah, the Rays go from winning 13 in a row to start the season to losing back-to-back games and losing the series against the Blue Jays. They went on to win Game 3. Alek Manoah gave up 7 earned runs, which was the most of his career. So they did take 1 game in the series, but they lost 2. And who would have expected that going into this series? A lot of people thought, and me being one of them, that the Blue Jays, they might take 1, but not the first game of the series. So good job, Blue Jays, stopping the Rays, the monster that is the Rays.
The wagon.
The wagon that is the Rays, yeah. But for the Rays, not like you're looking down after that. You're still 14-2 after this weekend, which, is there really any complaining about being 14-2? I don't think so.
Absolutely not.
Wander Franco's batting .318. Brandon Lau's batting .310 with a 1.132 OPS. You called up Vidal Brujan, who's been playing a decent bit, and he's looked really good as well. Just a lot to look forward to for the Rays for the rest of the season if their guys can continue to play this good. Losing 2 out of 3 of the Blue Jays, not the most terrifying thing. Mm-hmm. The only thing that, sucks is that you play your first good team of the season and you lose 2 out of 3. So it makes it a lot easier for people to say that your 13-0 start to the season was literally just because you played bad teams. So, I don't know. Good for the Blue Jays to end that streak, but not as bad for the Rays to lose 2 out of 3, considering they're 14-2 at this point.
Right, I agree with you. The one thing that I wanted to talk about a little bit that I noticed, and I wanted to get your opinion on it, is, like you just mentioned, Alek Manoah has not looked good to start the season, which is rather shocking considering that we know the type of pitcher that he can be. He now is almost at a 7 ERA. 6.98 as a matter of fact over the course of almost 20 innings pitched at 19 1/3. And picking up that loss to the Rays sort of made me question if it was more of the Rays being good or his stuff not being there or his stuff being bad for that start. And I went to StatCast and I did take a look at it. And so far, just this season in general, Alek Manoah has no control over his slider and his fastball, which, if I'm an organization, I'm extremely concerned about because we're in this brand of baseball now where getting swings and misses on these pitches is extremely important. And the fact that he can't really figure out how to locate it just yet would concern me. Do you think that Alek Manoah, this is just a cold streak for him? Or it's just like a struggling part for him? Or do you think that maybe there's something going different in his mechanics this season as compared to last or the 2021 season?
I can't speak on his mechanics. I'm not sitting here studying Alek Manoah's mechanics. Yes, I love baseball. I'm not studying Alek Manoah's mechanics, so I couldn't tell you that. Do I think it's just a beginning of the season kind of thing? I really hope it is. His first, 4 starts have been horrible. I would like to say that it is just the start to the season kind of thing, and I think he will get a lot better. Maybe some of it has to do with, maybe getting in better shape a little bit if you're Alek Manoah. That's not even that's not even meant to be like a cut on him, but when you really do look at it, that might actually have something to do with it. Like that could very well be it. I don't know if he's in worse shape than he was last season, but the start to the season definitely indicates that something is not right, something is different from last year. Because like I said, in the game against the Rays yesterday, he gave up 7 earned runs, which was the most in a single game in his career, which is just not how Alek Manoah maneuvers. And the starts before that during the season, the first 3 starts, were also not great. I know against the Tigers, he threw 40 pitches in the second inning of that game. So, back to your question, I don't really know mechanics-wise or like control-wise because I haven't watched these Manoah starts. I've been watching other games during that. But I do think it might just be a start to the season thing, and I think he'll figure things out as the season goes on.
That's what I hope as well. But the thing that does concern me, and that I think about because we've watched plenty of baseball throughout our lives up to this point, and one thing that we see guys, especially guys who are big competitors like Alek Manoah, do, is they try to play through injury. And I'm really hoping that this is not Manoah trying to play through something that's nagging him, because I want to see him pitch down the stretch. I want to see him, if the Blue Jays make the postseason again, I want to see him pitch in the postseason. I don't want him to be out because he thinks that he needs to perform right now. I'd rather have him miss a few starts now than miss the starts towards the end of the season or in the playoffs.
What injury do you think he has?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying if there's anything nagging him that could be affecting his performance, I'd rather have him figure that out now rather than make it worse for later.
I don't think he's injured. I think especially after his first 3 starts, if something was actually wrong, he would have said something by now because you don't just want to keep going out there and giving up this many runs. Like, you're not going to just continue to play injured after you're showing your team that, how bad you're performing, because that's how you lose your ace spot. He started opening day for this team. If he continues to go out there knowing he's injured and pitching bad, he's going to lose that ace spot, the opening day starter spot. So I don't think he wants to just do that. I think he'd rather tell them, listen, I'm something's wrong, I'm injured. That's why I'm not pitching good. Let's get me better. Yeah. If it is something that he is playing through, then at this point, if he pitches again after this and he's still feeling whatever injury it may be,
he needs to say something.
That's wrong. Yeah, that's just his fault at that point. So I don't know. I don't think he's playing through injury. I just think there's something going on.
There's definitely something going on that we don't recognize or we don't know. Because I don't believe that this is truly who Alek Manoah is at any point in a season. Because he was top 3 in Cy Young last year. He was. And he is pitching as if this is his first 3 starts in the big leagues. 4 starts, my apologies. But we know Alek Manoah can be better, and let's just hope that he turns it around. Yeah. How's that?
Yeah, 15 earned runs in 19 and a third innings pitched. Not great. Not great at all. And that was the only game the Rays took. So they took advantage of Manoah having that bad start to the season. So, yeah. That's that series. That series was a fun one. Considering going into it, we were like, I don't know if the Jays are going to take that many, but they are in Toronto. There were a lot of different factors going into that series, especially with the Rays coming in 13-0.
Was that the home opener for the Rays?
No.
I mean, not the Rays, the Blue Jays?
No, home opener for Blue Jays was against the Tigers earlier.
Oh, yeah, you're right. My apologies.
But yeah. And then as for the Blue Jays, going a little further into them, I do want to highlight just a couple guys. Bo Bichette is batting .375 on the season with a .997 OPS. The guy gets on base. He is a hit machine. He's an on-base machine. He's got 4 homers, 11 RBIs, 4 doubles. The guy just gets on base. He had a 5-for-5 game in Game 1. He went 2-for-4 in Game 3. Bo Bichette is sneakily one of the best hitters in baseball.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that.
And the only reason why people don't realize it is because he is in a very, very good Blue Jays lineup. Having Vlad Jr., having Matt Chapman, Dalton Varsho, George Springer are all bigger names than him just because of some other things that those names have accomplished. Whereas Bo Bichette kind of flies under the radar because unless you're really focusing on the Blue Jays or you're really focused in on the AL East in general, if you are an opposing fan, like about Bo Bichette, but you go out to Dodgerland, you go out to the NL West, no one's being like, oh yeah, Bo Bichette could finish top 5 in MVP voting this season. It's interesting, but Bo Bichette definitely deserves his flowers and his credit for how well he's started the season.
Yeah, I think he'll continue to stay hot the entire season, and I think, like you said, like you kind of said, him being in that lineup and not being the biggest name in that lineup, it makes him go more under the radar. I don't think it has any effect on the fact that he's hitting the ball. I think no matter where he's going to be, he's just going to continue to hit the ball. I know he loves hitting in the Rogers Center too, which is obviously great because,
that's where he
home
plays
stadium.
Half his games.
But yeah, Bo Bichette's looking good. Matt Chapman's another guy on this team who's looking good.
Free agent year for him.
Big free agent year for him. This is a ginormous season. Because, especially, we talked about this a couple episodes ago, because he was good then and he's good now. He is one of the only big free agent third basemen that's coming up in the next, next year, a couple years from now. And so far, he's batting .421 with a 1.203 OPS. He's just doing it all, it seems like. And after the last 2 seasons of him batting .220, .215. This must feel awesome for him. And it's clear that he's worked in the offseason and made the adjustments, and it's paying off for him. The Blue Jays go to play the Astros this week. So that's going to be another fun series for them. They're playing in Houston, where the Astros just lost 2 of 3 to the Texas Rangers, which... I will say, yes, the Astros have been struggling, but I think a lot of people expected them to win that series. They are the team in Texas for the last however many years, since the Rangers made the World Series last.
15, basically.
And the Rangers came in and they took game 1. And then they took the Sunday night baseball game. Marcus Semien hit that grand slam. They won
Into the Crawford boxes.
Yeah, they won 9-1, so pretty convincingly. The Astros are struggling, man. The Astros are really struggling. There's just not everything's clicking like it has been in like previous years, that is. But we've seen them struggle in the beginning of the season. Last year, they struggled in the beginning of the season. They had those bad stretches, and they still won 107 games, so I'm not putting anything past them. Right now, they're 7-9, but they're only 2.5 games back of first place because the first place team is now the Texas Rangers, who are 9-6. They're taking advantage of the fact that the AL West is one of the more balanced division when it comes to good teams.
Excluding the Athletics.
Who are 3-13 after being swept by the Mets.
Yes.
So they are just in a very well-balanced division, and the fact that they are struggling right now is okay because they're not, 4 or 5 games back right now. Like, when you look at a team like the Yankees and the Blue Jays, who are both 10-6, which is a good record right now, they're both 4 games back because they have the Tampa Bay Rays in front of them. Or even like the NL East, Mets are 10-6, they're 2 games back. There's no team in the AL West has over 10 wins, which is the only 2 divisions that don't have a team with over 10 wins right now are the Western divisions, the AL West and the NL West. The leaders in those, Rangers with 9 wins, Diamondbacks with 9 wins. Which, the Diamondbacks, I don't know how they're still in first place in the NL West, especially after this weekend. They got very lucky with the fact that the Dodgers, Cody Bellinger, he's back.
He was back. And it almost felt like he never left Dodger Stadium with how he played defensively. Don't want to speak about his offensive numbers, but he looked very comfortable. He looked happy. Just the crowd reaction is exactly what I would have expected. A lot of cheers, a lot of clapping, because it's one thing for a free agent to leave your team and all that. It's another thing to see not only the come up of a player, but also sort of a small downfall that you don't really know how to handle as a fan. Because I feel like everybody in LA, when it was 2018 and 2019 and 2020, when Cody Bellinger was that MVP version of himself, if you went up to any Dodger fan and said, who's your favorite player, their answer would have been Cody Bellinger. Because he was just the heart and soul of that team for 3 years. It's hard to deny or get around that fact. So it's good to see that the Dodger fans and all of baseball is just so supportive of Cody Bellinger, and I think he needed that mentally. Like, I feel like that's a really big thing to know, that the people that you left don't hate you. They're definitely rooting for you, and that's cool.
They can't blame him for leaving. Like, it's not like he was a great player and
Dodgers never offered him anything.
Yeah, and well, even then, it's not like he was having great seasons and then left them in cold blood. Like,
right, he was very clearly
bad,
struggling.
but he, like you said, he robbed Jason Hayward in Game 2 of this series, the guy who replaced him on the Dodgers in the outfield. And
let it be known, Jason Hayward almost hit another home run. I don't get where Dodgers find this offensive power in Jason Hayward.
He didn't.
It's ridiculous.
He should have hit it a couple more feet because Cody Bellinger was right there. He's back in his home turf, center field in Dodger Stadium.
Yep.
Robbed Jason Hayward of a home run. Incredible catch. The Dodgers fans started booing him because
he took a bow.
They thought it was funny. I don't think they were actually booing him. I think it was more of just like a
joke.
Funny boo.
At the end of the day, you're competing against the Dodger fans team, so they are going to do it a little bit. But I think it's hard for it. It was more of a joke. It was more of a goof, like you said, to boo Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, and Bellinger the next day hit a home run of his own off Julio Urias.
That must have felt
solo
great.
shot. The Cubs actually won the game 3-2, so that was an important moment in that game. And that was cool to see. He took a very, very slow trot around the bases. He flipped the bat. He was having a great time. So good for Cody Bellinger this season.
Do we clap for Cody Bellinger?
Yeah, sure.
Attaboy, Cody B.
season so far, he's got a 770 OPS, which, yes, isn't like amazing, but when you compare it to the last 2 years, phenomenal. He's batting .245, which, again, you compare it to the last couple of years, absolutely phenomenal. He's got 3 homers already, 10 RBIs. He's looking to revitalize his career with the Cubs, and I think he's off to a very good start in terms of how he's played in the past 2 years. So good for Cody Bellinger, happy for him, and he was back in LA, and who would have thought that the Cubs took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers? So Cody Bellinger came out of LA as the winner, which is something that Dodger fans probably aren't too happy about.
Yeah, I agree, but I think they're also happy to just know that they got to see Cody Bellinger play again, and he is sort of coming back to form. He's back on the upward trend. Is that the right wording to say? Because I don't want to say that he's going back to MVP form. I feel like that's very hard for him to reach right now, but he's on the upward. He's on the up and up. That's what I want.
That's fair. That's fair. Up and up is a good way to put it. But like I said, the NL West, the Diamondbacks still lead the NL West as of Monday morning when this is going up. They have a 9-7 record, and they just lost 2 of 3 to the Marlins. And they're still first place in this division, which is just baffling to me. The Padres lost 2 of... Did they lose 3 of 4? The Padres may have lost 3 of 4 to the Brewers. And...
Yes, they did, I believe.
Well, I know they played on Thursday. Thursday they lost 4-3. Rowdy Tellez hit a 2-run homer and then a go-ahead sac fly in the 10th. That was on Thursday. They lost 4-3. Friday, they lost again 11-2. Rowdy Tellez had a 2-home run game because why not? He's Rowdy Tellez.
He's a Brewer.
They did pick up a win on Saturday, and then today they lost. Today they lost 1-0. Wade Miley masterclass.
Per usual.
Wade Miley masterclass.
I would expect nothing less.
So yeah, like I was saying, the Diamondbacks, getting pretty lucky with the way that the other teams in their division are also playing right now. They won a Zach Gallen start, which was today, and it was Zach Gallen pitching against the Miami Marlins. I don't know if they expected to lose, because I certainly wouldn't be expecting to lose if I'm the Diamondbacks. Gallen absolutely dominated because that's what Zach Gallen does.
Yeah.
They're fortunate that the teams around them have also not played great. Although the Padres.
Can I say this? Yes and no. Like, yes, the other teams in the division, the other 4 teams in the division, have not been playing well. And it's very clear when you look at the schedules and you look at the records and the statistics that every team in the NL West is sort of coming out of the gate slow. But that's not to discredit the Diamondbacks at all.
Not slow. But
well,
yeah,
as we expected. How's that?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So they're not coming out of the gate as everybody expected, but that we should still not discredit the Diamondbacks in any way. We are not trying to.
I'm not trying to at all.
Because this team is, 1, fun to watch, and 2, they're sneaky good. As we were saying, all offseason they would be. So it's great to see that not only was the vision that you and I had true, but the fact that they are getting this experience of like going out there winning games and really getting a feel of what it's like to have the target on the back for a bunch of young guys and Evan Longoria, that's his name.
Okay.
To have the target on your back nice and early is pretty cool. And I think that they're playing with a little bit of urgency because they obviously want to win as many games as possible, but could the Snakes win the West? I think that's the question that they should be asking right now.
Well, they play the Cardinals this week, who have been struggling, so we'll see.
Terrible.
We'll see if they can pick up a couple more wins. And if they could pick up a couple more wins against the Cardinals while they're struggling, the Dodgers play the Mets and the Padres play the Braves. So take advantage of their tough schedules and you playing the struggling teams. Take advantage of that now as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Diamondbacks, go for it. However, I will say the Padres are getting back a pretty important piece on Thursday.
I know. I'm looking forward to it.
Fernando Tatis Jr. will be returning to the San Diego Padres this Thursday on April 20th. He has been dominating in his rehab assignment in AAA for the Padres. I believe he has 6 home runs in the last 3 games, including a 3-homer game, a 2-homer game, and then a 1-homer game. He's batting like 800 with like a 1 dot whatever OPS. He's just insane. He's ready to come back, and I am beyond ready to see Fernando Tatis Jr. back in a Padres uniform, back on the field, playing in Major League Baseball again. I'm very, very excited. Like, beyond excited.
I cannot blame you whatsoever. All the swagger that Tatis brought to the game 2 seasons ago it's been just an empty drought of having that, especially without Tatis even being able to be in the dugout. To be there to support his team. Because last year, it would have been so much more fun when the Dodgers lost, when the Padres beat the Dodgers in the NLDS, if we had Fernando Tatis Jr. there, because he's just such a fun and exciting guy that even if he's not on the field, it feels like he makes an impact to the energy level of any game that he's a part of.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just looking forward to seeing him come back this Thursday. Might be one of the most watched regular season games for the first few innings. Everyone's going to want to see him play right field and take a couple at-bats because the game has missed Fernando Tatis Jr. Will he get booed in certain places? For sure. Dodgers fans are going to let him hear it. But who cares? You're Fernando Tatis Jr. Go show them that you're still a great player. And in AAA, I think that he's ramping up to do just that.
Yeah, he's returning in Arizona against the Diamondbacks too. So he's the spark plug that this team seems to be missing right now because they are 8-9 to start the season, which is not where they want it to be whatsoever. Hopefully they can take a couple games against the Braves in Atlanta. I mean in Petco. So we'll see what they can do. And
so
let's go Fernando.
One question though. Last time we saw him play in the 2021 season, he played in 130 games and had 42 homers. He's going to be coming in with about 140 games left-ish.
Yeah, over.
Over.
Yeah, I see where you're going. Over. On everything.
On everything.
Every single stat.
So I was going to say, do we see the homers go up?
Yeah. Over.
Okay. Now the question is, how much work do you think he's put into the defensive side of the ball?
Not much.
Really? I think he wants to shock the world and sort of come out and show like, hey, yeah, my bat is what, I'm getting paid a lot of money is to score runs, but I can also prevent runs. He has the skill set to naturally get the ball. It's sort of like Jazz Chisholm-esque, middle infielder moving to the outfield. However, I think Tatis has a higher skill ceiling than Jazz. And that's no disrespect to Jazz and the boys down south.
I think we'll see him get better at right field. I don't think he's going to be bad in right field, but I don't think he's, constantly putting in the reps, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's more of as you play it more and more, you're bound to get better at it. Mm-hmm. And we saw it, I'm basing that on, spring training. Because if he really was working on and getting that much better, we would have seen a little bit more in spring training. I think most of the highlights we saw in spring training of him in right field was more of just throwing a runner out, which he's got a good arm. He's a shortstop.
Yeah.
He's going to have a good arm. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if he can track down balls. That's really what I'm going to be focusing on. Is he going to be able to make those diving plays? Is he going to be able to make those running plays? Stuff like that.
What highlight play do you think we get out of him first? I'm going to give you 3 options, and you're going to tell me. Diving play, like a complete layout, have to lay out to make the catch. Diving catch, play, or whatever. Home run robbery, or hosing a runner that's tagging up. Out of the 3, what do you think? I'm talking an absolute dot right to third base.
It's going to be a hose, but I don't know if it'll be on a runner tagging or just trying to get single into a double type thing.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely see him throw out a runner first.
Really?
Yes.
I would go a diamond play first. I think it's going to be a diamond play first. And is that completely zero basis on any of them? Of course.
I'm just basing it on what I think he's the best at.
I'm basing it on what I want to see.
Well, you said, what do you think we'll see? So I'm just basing it off what he's the best at, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can.
And I think he's the best. His arm is what makes him. I'm fine with him being in the outfield. I have no problem with it. I think he's an exceptional. Just like, obviously he's not an exceptional fielder when it comes to his career stats, but I think like he's not going to be as much of a liability as people are thinking. And I could be 100% wrong, but from what I've seen, I don't think he's going to be an extreme liability in right field. Thankfully.
I 110% agree with you. Let's go Fernando Tatis Jr. Cannot wait to see him back on the field. I believe our next podcast episode will go up after he plays.
This is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will have a game of Fernando Tatis Jr.
Woo!
Maybe.
He could be batting 1,000.
Maybe. Depends on what time they play that game.
True. That's true.
So we'll see.
We'll figure it out.
Very, very, very excited to see that. What else we got? What else happened this week?
What else happened?
Sandy Alcantara.
Yep.
We were speaking about the Diamondbacks Marlins series, so we might as well talk about the fact that Sandy Alcantara had another not Sandy Alcantara start. It was today, right?
I believe so. Today, as in at the time of recording
Sunday.
this, Sunday the 16th.
So Sandy Alcantara today. Yes. Sandy Alcantara today went 6 innings, yes, but gave up 5 runs, 4 earned, struck out 9, and his season ERA is now a 5.84. So yes, he did have that complete game shutout. I guess now it was 3 starts ago.
2.
Well, 1, 2. It's the third. You know what I mean. 3 starts ago. 3 starts ago, he had the complete game shutout. But he's been struggling besides that. And it was against, the Twins, they're the Twins. This was against, the Phillies and the Diamondbacks, who have started the year hot. And while, yes, only 4 earned runs, that's still not characteristic for Sandy Alcantara.
South Beach Sandy doesn't usually do the whole letting a run score thing. So that's why we say that.
Yeah, South Beach Sandy. I mean, I'm not worried at all. He had a couple pretty bad starts last season as well, especially towards the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. I'm not worried. I hope he picks it up very, very soon.
Yes, and the reason why I think especially the media is blowing it out as if we're not media as well, but why everyone is really focused in on it is he just won the Cy Young. Everybody now knows about him as if even more than what everybody already knew. Every start, everything that he does is going to be under more of a microscope from opening day to whenever the Marlins season ends, which hopefully that ends with Sandy Alcantara hoisting up the World Series MVP trophy, as I believe we both hope to see. But as of right now, it's sort of under this microscope that makes it seem like Sandy is still not one of the best pitchers in baseball. And he is. Even though he's had a couple of bad starts, he is still one of the best pitchers in baseball, and that goes for any pitcher. We can say that right now about Justin Verlander, and he has yet to throw a pitch this season. We can say that about Gerrit Cole, who has started the season amazing. We can say that about Max Scherzer, who has been rocky for a start, and then he's come back and looked amazing. Changing the view about how you see a pitcher cannot be based on 4, 5, 6 starts. It has to be over seasons of seeing the progression of a pitcher.
All right, yeah, no, I would agree.
Sorry for my rant there, but I get very upset that people are calling Sandy a bust after last year's Cy Young.
I haven't seen anyone calling him a bust.
Not a bust, but saying that it wasn't really who Sandy was last season, when it is.
I haven't seen any of that. I haven't seen anyone kind of belittling Sandy. I've just seen a lot. I've seen a lot of like, what the hell, like, thought this guy was good, like stuff like that. Thought this guy was good. Not saying like, oh, last year was a fluke. Like,
I was reading a little bit of it on the timeline. It got me very upset over the weekend.
I don't know. I think he'll be fine. I'm not worried. These last couple starts have been bad, yes, but he's Sandy Alcantara at the end of the day. And
you want to like
you don't
now predict his stat line for the next start?
No.
Projected start? Come on.
Complete game, perfect game. There you go. 28 strikeouts.
I did say it.
No hitter, 29 strikeouts. The only 2 base runners are strikeouts in the dirt, but it gets by the catcher, so the runner gets to first.
Classic Jacob Stallings.
Yeah. So 29 strikeout, no hitter next outing.
Okay.
I can confidently say that. Speaking of absolutely dominant starts, Gerrit Cole, the ace of the New York Yankees, just threw a complete masterclass. What's the word? Gem. Yes, a gem of a game.
Threw an absolute
against the Minnesota Twins. Gerrit Cole went complete game shutty. He did the Sandy Alcantara. 9 innings pitched, obviously. 2 hits and just 1 walk, while striking out 10 batters and giving up, obviously, no runs in the complete game shutty. The Yankees won 2-0 to take the final game of the series against the Twins. Gerrit Cole's season ERA is down to a .95, under 1. He's 4-0 on the season, so they've won all 4 starts of his. And he just tied Ron Guidry for the most 10 or more strikeout games in Yankees history with 23. And he's been on the team for 2 years. This is his 3rd year.
Yeah.
Gerrit Cole. Well, I guess 3 years. This is his 4th. Right? 2020, yes. 21, 22, 23. Yes. Yeah. So, Gerrit Cole, dominant. For his first 4 starts have been absolutely dominant, no matter what way you look at it.
Yeah, for sure.
The Guardian start was the only one that was a little iffy. That's just because he had 3 strikeouts, but they still won the game. He still gave up 2. He only gave up 2 runs or whatever.
Only walked 3 batters over 7 innings.
Just absolutely dominant. He's had such a good start to the season. Is this finally the season we get to see Gerrit Cole earn his Cy Young? Because he's had Cy Young seasons many times in the past. And it feels like he's due for one, and he started off strong.
I completely agree with you, and I think one thing that we can attribute very early, of course, to the reason why Gerrit Cole is doing so well is he has yet to fold under the pressure. He has yet to not come through in a big situation. You know, last season, and honestly, since he put on a Yankee uniform, and even that last season in Houston, the thing that he struggled with the most was the home run ball. When it was the least convenient time for that home run to come. We saw it last year plenty. We saw it in 2021 in the wild card game against Boston. Very infamous game for Red Sox fans because they absolutely teed off of Gerrit Cole that year. 2022, we saw it even in opening day going down early to the Red Sox in 2022. And Gerrit Cole so far this season in 4 starts, knock on wood, has not allowed the long ball, has not allowed a homer. And limiting that and being able to keep himself controlled enough to still hit his spot and not miss even when it is a more high leverage situation with the pitch clock, let's not forget that, is impressive. And I think that over the course of the season, we're going to see him only get better.
He's an animal.
He is.
I love
opt-out year for him.
I love the dude. He's not going to opt out.
You never know.
I can almost guarantee you he is not opting out.
His comments say otherwise.
He's not opting out. I'm very, very excited to keep seeing Cole do these things because just watching him today, or rather yesterday, was incredible. And you think to yourself, if he can keep doing this, his fastball is just blowing by guys. His changeup's working. The knuckle curve, you throw it in there every once in a while, is just very good. When he has that fastball rolling and he's striking out guys, I think he could go a complete game. He can go the whole way.
Yeah.
If that is really working. There's always that possibility if he's willing to throw that many pitches. Today, he did get, the reason he stayed in there, I think, all 9 innings is because, still early in the season, but he really didn't throw that many pitches. I could check very, very quickly how many pitches he threw. He threw he threw. Why am I looking at why is it showing me the wrong thing? I believe it was only like 100 pitches. 103 pitches, maybe? I don't know. MLB's showing me Pablo Lopez for both of them because MLB. But, yeah. He was just absolutely dominant today.
Yeah.
Complete game shutty. Gerrit Cole. Short-haired Gerrit Cole is a scary sight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The Yankees split this series with the Twins. It's 2-2, so they really did need this start out of Cole in the final game because it secured a non-series loss, secured tying the series. Game 2, we saw something very interesting as well. Game 2, Domingo German started for the Yankees, making his fourth start of the season. And third start of the season. And German was through 3 innings. He had not given up a single base runner, so perfect through 3. And the umpires checked his hands and his glove, the routine substance check. And something was wrong. He comes back out for the 4th, and there's this whole crowd around him. Booney's out there. All the umpires are there. A couple of the Yankees are there. And they're telling him that, he has to wash his hands. You have to get stuff off your hands. So everyone's immediately thinking, why does he have to wash his hands? What does he have on his hands? Shouldn't he be thrown out of the games in that? Shouldn't he be thrown out of the game in that case if he does have foreign substance on his hand? They allowed him to keep pitching, and the Twins manager, Rocco Baldelli, was just livid.
Furious.
Because clearly the umpires found something sticky on his hands and let him keep going out. He was thrown out of the game. But here's my issue with it. I actually am very upset by this. It was rosin on his hands. Yeah. Baldelli said it after the game. Boone said it after the game. German said it after the game. It was literally just rosin and sweat on his hands. Rosin is a legal substance. They put it behind the mound for pitchers to use. There is no saying as to how much a pitcher can or can't use. There's no limitations on it. German did it in the dugout before he went on the mound, which is why it was a little suspicious to them. But it's rosin.
Yeah, that's part of the pitch clock, too. If there was no pitch clock, he probably would have just done it during the inning, but I think he put it on in the dugout to just be more time efficient.
I just think he likes putting it on before he gets out there, just so it's already there, he's ready, doesn't have to worry about it during the inning. Either way, it's rosin and sweat. I remember in 21 when they started doing the checks or whatever, or 22, whatever year was it they started really doing those checks. Bauer was one of the biggest guys who there's a very famous image of him holding a baseball with his palm out like this with the baseball sticking to his hand, and it was just sweat and rosin. Yes, it's sticky. It's a legal substance though. I had a very big issue with that, and
it was an interesting thing because if the Twins manager and the umpires all understood that it was rosin, and it was just rosin and sweat, which everybody confirmed after the game, that's all that it was, why was there such a commotion about it? I think it's just because of the tackiness of it. Do we see the MLB now, obviously it would not happen right now, but do we see them consider limiting how much rosin a pitcher can use prior to each inning? Because that's the topic that I saw. I don't agree with it. They shouldn't. It's just not allowed.
Well, it's not even about that. It's how would you limit the amount of rosin is a powder in a bag. You can't measure it out before every... No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works.
It's like the Vaseline that goes on the guys.
What are they, LeBron with the chalk?
Give me Gerrit Cole running out there. Whoa.
Yeah, no.
And then he has to catch it all because he's like, oh shit, I need this.
I personally don't see that happening. They can't limit the amount of rosin someone can use.
I know,
unless they just take it away fully. German had a great outing though.
Oh, he looked...
six and a third innings,
Yankee
3
fans...
hits, 1 earned run, career high 11 strikeouts as well. So if German keeps using as much rosin as he did on Saturday, then he'll have a very, very good season.
Oh yeah, Yankee fans were ready to run in front of a train for him after seeing how well he pitched that in his last outing. That's for sure.
Yeah, go Domingo German.
Go Domingo German.
we might as well talk about the first 2 games of the series, give the Twins some love, because they did still win 2 games against the Yankees this weekend.
One of them was a very convincing win.
They scored 9 runs in the first inning of Game 1 against Johnny Burrito. And Michael A. Taylor had 2 home runs that game. They won 11-2. Joe Ryan.
Back-to-back on homers.
Yeah, back-to-back. Joe Ryan had a really good outing. He struck out like 10 batters, 7 innings. Game 2, they also won 4-3. Carlos Correa is a Yankee killer. He had a go-ahead 2-run double in the top of the 8th. The Yankees lost that game, like I said, 4-3, despite Anthony Volpe and Aaron Judge going back-to-back. Volpe with his first career home run to lead off the game for the Yankees. Judge going right after him with his 5th home run of the season.
I believe so.
But yeah, they couldn't beat Carlos Correa. He went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. In his career, heading into Sunday, so before Sunday's game, in 40 games against the Yankees in his career, he was batting .314 with a 1. OPS, 138 OPS plus. Correa kills the Yankees. It's always been a story, and I quite honestly will probably always be the case.
His quotes after, too, are very funny. The boos are just like, I believe the quote was something along the lines of,
gasoline in a Ferrari.
Yeah, the boos are like gasoline in a Ferrari, which it makes sense because Correa is one of the most premier players in baseball. Very wanted, expensive, just like a Ferrari. And those boos, man, I think with all the bright lights that Correa has played under, 2 World Series and all the postseason that you could ever imagine, for a player of his age, I think that he just loves it even more than anybody else on the Minnesota Twins. So it's fun. It's a cute little thing that goes on. Obviously, the Yankees notoriously have absolutely murdered the Twins when it comes to the regular season and the postseason in the last 15 years, I think. So that's always just something that's going to be there, and it's nice to see that the rivalry of it is sort of being sparked up again. I feel like it hasn't been there for the past few seasons.
Yeah, the Twins have a good team this year.
Yeah.
They are...
Why are we throwing everything?
My fault. They are 10-6 on the year, and they are first in the AL Central because the Guardians have struggled a deep, not an overly amount. They're 9-7, so they still they're 1 game worse right now, but they've lost a couple games that you figured they shouldn't be losing. They lost today against the Nationals, who are a very bad team. Yeah. So.
The way that I would describe it, and the way that I've seen it, the way that I have discussed it. In terms of the Guardians' play, has been last year they played to the Guardian level of baseball, which was they're going to win their way playing their game. This season, it feels like they're playing more to the level of their opponent. We saw them play the Yankees and made 3 very competitive games in Progressive Field. Very fun series. Now they just lost to the Nationals, where they had plenty of... I think there was 3 or 4 lead changes throughout the game because it was just a back-and-forth game where the Guardians just simply did not hold on to a lead and did not capitalize on moments that we have seen them capitalize on 1.5 times. They're playing down to the level of their opponent or playing up to the level of their opponent when all they need to do is play to their level, because their level is very easily can get into the postseason. Honestly,
they need to. They won their division.
Come back to that.
I don't know. I don't know if it's maybe. I don't. I kind of get what you're saying, but they're still playing good. They're still 9-7.
Playing well, but they definitely. You don't want their whole season to go 9 wins, 7 losses.
Yes, but who have they played so far? Yes, they lost today against the Nationals. They played the Yankees, the Mariners, and someone in between then. They've played...
The Athletics.
Yeah, okay, they probably beat the Athletics, no?
They took 2 out of 3.
Right. And what, they take 2 out of 3 against the Nats too, I bet?
Yes.
Exactly. So they beat the bad teams, but then they've also played some pretty good teams. The Mariners are a good team. Despite their record, the Mariners are still a very good baseball team.
Yeah, very upset, by the way, that the Mariners-Guardians series, just, both the home and away... just is already done with. I feel like that would have been a great series to have.
Is what it is.
Towards the end of the season. But, like you said, it is what it is.
Yeah. Another team that's struggling, like the Mariners are also decently struggling, is the Los Angeles Angels.
The usual.
Coming into this series against the Red Sox this weekend, they were 7-5. Heading into Monday, which is the final game of this series, they are 7-8. They have lost all 3 games against the Red Sox thus far, and they have Ohtani on the mound on Monday, which is the day this is being uploaded. So they're hoping to just take one game because it's already looking like the Angels are going to be the team that's blowing leads, and they're just not going to be able to score runs when it matters. They blew a very big lead on Saturday. They lost 7-9, I believe it was. They lost yesterday on Sunday. It just not great. However, the Angels did call up a guy that will be probably their shortstop for a while, it seems. Like they're giving this guy a shot. It is Zach Neto. I believe that's how you pronounce that last name. Zach Neto was, believe it or not, a 2022 first-round draft pick from the Angels. 2022, last year. Mm-hmm. He's played just 44 games in the minor leagues through last season and obviously 7 games in the beginning of this season. 44 games, he hit 322 with the 937 OPS. However, he never went above AA. He's 0 for 8 to start his career. I mean, obviously, he's starting his career. I'm not expecting him to come out here and just, immediately start batting, 500. But I'm kind of excited to see if this guy actually, plays well, or it's just going to be a classic Angels moment where they're going to have to just send him back down because it was a stupid idea on their part and this guy's clearly not ready for the big leagues. So I'm interested to see what happens there. I would like to step back and say, let's just take the final game of the series from the Red Sox first. Let's start winning some games before we worry about it, because this guy, Neto, could play very bad for the entire season, and you still have enough guys in your lineup to be winning games anyway.
Yeah.
So, Angels, get it done. Come on.
Yeah, and let's just point out real quick, Ohtani, and I was just looking this up, that's why I was very focused in over here, notoriously good pitcher in Fenway Park. So let's hope that the Angels can squeak out a win before they hit the road.
Yeah, I remember last season he had a really good start in Fenway.
Yeah, I have it up here. 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, no runs, no walks, 11 Ks.
Yeah, I remember that start.
Yep, and he looked pretty damn good while doing it.
And he's gonna be hitting. So
yeah, I remember that start so well because it was just such a great start. In all honesty.
Yeah, Zach Neto.
Zach Neto.
What else we got? Not much. Jackie Robinson Day was on Saturday.
Yeah, happy Jackie Robinson Day.
Great day. Everyone wears 42.
Yeah, everybody wearing 42. Can't tell them apart. It's great.
It's great. I love Jackie Robinson Day. It was a great day. What else?
American hero.
American hero.
Clap it up for Jackie Robinson.
Of course, he deserves. I want to get into just a more fun topic. Just to kind of, round this out. We'll do this, talk about some league leaders, then get into players of the week, which is a fun part. Home run celebrations this year. Obviously, they've been made more and more popular since, I would say, starting 2019, they started to become extremely popular. You saw the Nationals, when they pretended to drive. The Red Sox had their laundry cart.
For, forever.
Yeah, there were a lot of really good home run celebrations throughout the years. This year, it seems like almost every team has one. Good. Maybe not every team, but almost every team. It's so much fun. Yeah. So far, off the top of my head, the ones I could think of, you got the Orioles with their funnel. Well, these are the ones that I remember. The Pirates have a sword, yep, which is funny. The Reds have their Viking outfit that they put on.
Very cool.
And the Angels have their samurai hat. I'm trying to think of more.
The one that I think is the corniest, the Braves just have the really big hat.
The Braves hat, yes.
Very corny. Very corny for the Braves.
Corny? I don't know.
They could have done a million different things.
I don't mind it. It's a hat.
I feel like that was the most basic option.
It's a funny looking hat.
It's a very funny looking hat, and seeing Matt Olson wear it, Daddy Olson wear it, is hilarious. But it's this thing that is so, there's no limits, and we're gonna end up on just a bigger baseball hat. Really,
It's a pretty funny hat.
the Marlins have the football helmet.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore. I thought they were still doing that.
I don't think so. I could be wrong. I don't think so.
Well, they've used that one in the past. That's another one. Do you know who I'm shocked doesn't have one, or at least that I know of? I am blown away that the Rockies don't have one, because Ryan McMahon and like CJ Cron, those guys are obviously big power home run hitters playing in a very hitter friendly ballpark in Coors Field. I would love to see them just have any sort of celebration other than high-fiving your teammates.
The Marlins have a chain.
They have a chain.
Chain and a hat.
Oh, the Red Sox now have what? The dumbbells? The blow-up dumbbells?
That's for Yoshida, yeah.
That's only Yoshida?
I don't know if it's only Yoshida. I don't watch the Red Sox enough.
Fair enough. But the home run celebrations in baseball are great. I think that eventually we'll see all 30 teams having it, and it will become a staple sort of thing, like with the Nationals run in 2019 with their World Series ring. The Baby Shark. It was like the thing that united every Nationals fan whenever... Howie Kendrick?
No, Gregardo Parra.
Yes. Whenever he came up to the plate, like hearing Baby Shark, everyone was like with it. Eventually, I think we're going to get a home run celebration that really sticks, not just with the players, but with the fans. Because right now, it's very unrealistic to go to an Angels game with your own personal samurai helmet. However, it's not as unrealistic to go with a funnel for the Orioles. You know, there's plenty of different fun things that could happen.
Yeah, the Rockies may not have one because, they suck.
They do suck, but still.
They just
the Reds
lost.
suck?
They just lost, I think, their 5th game in a row. The Reds actually are 6-9, so
Okay.
I'll have you know that.
The Pirates have a sword.
I literally just read something.
Oh, you
the
said.
AL, every team in the AL East is 500 or better. The next closest division is the NL Central with the last place Reds at 6-9.
Yeah.
The AL East is very good. But anyway, let's rate some of these celebrations. The Orioles funnel.
You want to rank like the top 3?
Okay.
So give your number 3 first.
Well, I haven't thought about it this much. I'll say number 3. I'll give it to I don't know. Number 3, I'll give to. I'm trying to think. You say your number 3. I gotta think.
My number 3, I would have to say the funnel, the Orioles funnel.
I
think that's fun. It's
Okay.
fun, especially the story behind it of how it was supposed to originally be a necklace.
Yeah.
Too very very fun, very fun.
Okay, I'll go with the Braves hat because it's a funny looking hat.
It's true. That's true. Do you want to snake around and take?
Sure. Number 2, I'll go with the funnel because it's cool.
Okay.
It's not like they're shoving alcohol down there,
Now that would make it number 1.
No, I mean it's just fun. I like the idea of it.
Give me a 3-homer day from someone and they're absolutely hammered going up to the plate on their 4th at bat. I'm in for that.
No, I like it though.
In my number 2, I mean, it's hard to deny the samurai helmet from the Angels.
I don't like it.
I love it.
It doesn't fit anywhere.
That's exactly why I love it.
I don't like it. It's too big.
That's why I say that the Braves thing is corny, because it fits too well. It doesn't make sense. I like that it doesn't fit. Give me the samurai at 2, and Alex, you're number 1.
It doesn't fit on their head. No, you snake around. What are you kidding me?
Okay.
Kidding me?
Number 1, the Pirates sword. That GIF that goes around everywhere on Twitter of G-Man Choi doing with the sword is arguably one of my favorite things, so that would probably be my number 1.
This guy says GIF. Get a load of this guy. Get a load of this guy saying
boy.
GIF.
There we go.
My favorite's got to be. I want to say. I'm gonna go with the Viking. It's just it feels so random, and it's like a whole like a cape and a helmet. I like it.
What's the Brewers home run celebration? Is it? Do they also do a chain?
I have no idea.
I don't quote me on it, but I think they do a chain.
I have no idea. Those are just the ones I know off the top of my head.
Fair enough.
I can't say I've watched too many. I've watched Brewers games, but I can't remember any home runs, if I'm being honest.
All right. I remember plenty against the Mets. Shout out Mets fans.
Hey, we're going to get into league leaders right now because there is a Met leading a pretty big category.
Do you want to start it?
Pete Alonso is leading baseball in home runs with 8. I don't know. You would like that? You like that, Lewis?
Love it.
Because if I'm getting my thoughts right, I do have him in the homer draft right now.
Yeah, that's cool. Who took him to win MVP?
Yeah, but I have him in the homer draft. That's all I care about.
It's fine.
So, league leaders, not working on MLB website because that's the only place it's updated right now with today's games. So, the leader in batting average is Luis Arias at 471.
Of course.
Then in the American League, you have Matt Chapman leading with 421. These are among qualified hitters, obviously. Mm. Home runs, like we said, Pete Alonso has 8. Rafael Devers sneakily has 7 home runs. I feel like
under the radar.
Yeah, I feel like very under the radar that is. Ryan Mountcastle. There's 3 guys tied with 6. Ryan Mountcastle, Max Muncy, Patrick Wisdom, Aaron Judge, and then there's a bunch of guys tied with 5, Aaron Judge being one of them. Brian Reynolds hasn't had a home run in a long time. I'm kind of worried.
Me too. I have him in fantasy. I thought that was my steal of the draft.
Yeah. I mean, it is for the first few.
Yeah. But I need that all year.
RBIs, we're looking at Yordan Alvarez and Ryan Mountcastle tied at number 1 with 20. I think that 9 RBI night from Ryan Mountcastle really helped.
Really?
But Yordan, not surprised to see him up there. He's Yordan Alvarez. You got Randy Arozarena with 17, Matt Olson with 17, Lindor, Chapman, the guys you would expect.
So, just to backtrack for 1 second here, let me just get your opinion on this.
That's get to a really fun category, too. So,
in 2022, Yordan Alvarez had 97 RBIs. The season before that, 104. Where do you think Yordan finishes?
Over.
RBIs. No, I'm saying give me a number.
120.
120? I'm saying 140.
140 is a lot of RBIs.
But if there's any player in baseball that could do it, it's Yordan Alvarez.
140 is a lot.
I know it's a lot, but I feel like if there's any player that could do it, it's someone on the Astros and who is arguably one of the best clutch time, big time hitters in baseball. It's Yordan Alvarez.
It could happen. I want to know. I would love to know when the last time someone hit 140. Someone had 140 RBIs was. It couldn't have been recent. That's a lot. 140 RBIs. What was it? A-Rod or something?
Probably.
I don't know. I could be wrong. But yeah, RBIs. He is going to be an RBI machine. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say he's not going to be an RBI machine, but 140 is a lot of RBIs.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. But like I just said, I don't think that there's anyone more fit to do it.
No, I would agree. He definitely would be the guy to do it. I just I don't know. I can't confidently say that right now. I feel like that's fair.
Last one that I can just see here really quick. Miggy had 139 in 2012, just missed.
So we'll count that. There you go.
Ryan Howard in 2009 had 141.
Okay,
RBIs.
So that was the last time then.
But in 2009, Prince Fielder also had 141.
Okay. Well, we'll see if Yordan can do it. I hope so.
I hope he can. Because I think, in my opinion, and I'm going to keep saying this, I think that there's no one more fit to do it than Yordan Alvarez. He's on a good team, on a good lineup. Sure, they're struggling a little bit right now. However, he is one of the best clutch hitters with runners in scoring position in baseball.
Oh, yeah. I just got a ringing. My ear is ringing right now.
You're tired.
My ear is just, ringing.
Then pick up the phone.
Okay.
Last topic.
Back to the leaders. Stolen base leaders. You got Nico Horner and Jorge Mateo. Nico Horner, Jorge Mateo, and Cedric Mullins all with 8.
Does not surprise me.
Acuna, Starling Marte, Miles Straw with 7. And then your rookie leaders in stolen bases are Anthony Volpe of the New York Yankees with 7. No surprise there. He is a very fast man.
Yep.
And Corbin Carroll from the Diamondbacks with 6, which also, no surprise there. He is a very, very fast man. Looking at a couple guys. OPS, the leaders, not who you would expect. You have Matt Chapman with a 1.203 and Brandon Marsh with a 1.196 OPS. Brandon Marsh, future World Series MVP, right, Lewis?
It's true. Future World Series MVP.
Well,
Brandon
former future 2022 World Series MVP.
Well said. Well
Thank you.
said. Well said.
Luis Arias, you got up there. Jarred Kelenic, your guy, is
My
up
guy.
there. But yeah, triples. Brandon Marsh and James Outman tied with 3. So that's a very important thing. Do we want to get to our last category, Players of the Week?
Please do.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Players of the Week. Players of the Week. Welcome. So, Lewis, do you want to start with the American League Players of the Week?
Of course. I would love to. I'm going to start with my pitcher. My American League Pitcher of the Week. We talked about him before. Gerrit Cole, New York Yankees. 2 starts, absolutely dominant in both, along with a complete game shutout in one of them. It's hard not to go with him for this week's Player of the Week. Pitcher of the Week.
Pitcher of the Week.
In the American League.
All right, who you got for your hitter?
My hitter is none other than arguably one of the best that we've ever seen step into the box and now will forever be etched in history. Jarred Kelenic hit the longest home run in Wrigley Field history.
Of the StatCast era.
No one's hit it farther.
Of the StatCast era.
I'll go on record and say that.
What were his stats this week?
So this week, 4 homers, 4 straight days with a homer, looked really, really good, and also had a good bit of situational hitting, especially in late game situations. He's batting .356 on the season, and it's in large part thanks to the fact that I think he's now fully put it together, and it's the Jarred Kelenic world, and we're just lucky to be here, and he has not smited us away from it yet. I'm a Jarred Kelenic truther.
You don't even believe that. You're smiling as you say it. You're smiling as you say it.
Hand over my heart. Jarred Kelenic is a fucking beast.
He's a beast.
My AL hitter of the week.
I do think he will have a good season this year. I think hopefully finally the breakout season. And yeah, he did perform very well this week. There were other guys I did have in mind, but yeah. That was a good one.
No, there definitely were. I mean, one guy who, like we just mentioned, flew under the radar a little bit. Devers really flew under the radar. Looked very, very good. Hopefully he continues his path of destruction that we've always known the babyface killer to have. And honestly, it could have just went to the entire Rays lineup. But it's not often that I finally get to speak the truth.
Give him the glory. Give him the glory.
Yeah.
All right. So my NL Players of the Week, for my pitcher, my NL Pitcher of the Week, I wanted to go with the reliever, but there was really none that stood out too much to me. So I'm going to give it to Corbin Burnes for his 8 innings pitched, 3 hit, no earned run, 8 strikeouts, no walk performance against the Diamondbacks earlier this week. Yes, it was just 1 start, but it was very good, very dominant, and it was his first, dominant start of the season.
His first Corbin Burnes start of the season.
Exactly. So I'm giving that to Corbin Burnes. And as far as my hitter of the week goes, it's so obvious. It's Luis Arias. The man hit for the cycle earlier this week against the Phillies. He hit .471 this week. He had 3 RBIs, two doubles, a homer, triple. The main part being that cycle and the fact that he just cannot stop getting on base. So, good for Luis Arias. He's my NL Player of the Week.
Let's clap it up for our Players of the Week.
Players of the Week. That should do it for this week's episode. Today's episode. Yeah. The weekend series episode. We thank you guys. Do you have anything else, Lewis?
Let's go baseball.
Let's go baseball. We thank you guys for listening, watching, viewing, subscribing, commenting, liking, sharing. If you liked the episode, make sure to let us know in the comments and tell your friends about the episodes. We would really appreciate that. And we will see you guys on Friday. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Thursday or Friday. Friday, somewhere around. We'll see you guys. See you guys after the week series. And yeah, we will see you guys then. Peace. Oh.